as I mentioned earlier, you have worked in multiple domains, AI, cybersecurity, in your professional journey for 14 plus years.
What I got to learn there, I think I've not learned anywhere in my TCS journey. I've been.
So one podcast guest you would love to host.
They were missing that, celebration of everything that is you. यहाँ पर आप किसी को भी कह सकते हो, it is mine. वहाँ पे आप ये नहीं बोल सकते हो कि ये मेरा है.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Beyond Classroom, where we talk about real stories, real talks and real inspiration. Our guest is today Vansa's personality. I'm your host Vanshika, and today's episode is truly special. Some people don't just work in their field, they redefine it. Our guest is one such personality today. She is a senior program manager with TCS with over 14 plus years of experience. She has also worked with global giants like Siemens Energy, McKinsey and British Telecom. Alongside her corporate journey, she also hosts her own podcast, Renaissance with Swati, where she shares stories that are inspiring and engaging. Beyond that, she is also a mom of 2 toddlers. Welcome, ma'am. It's my absolute honor to welcome you here. Thank you so much for taking time to come to our podcast. I would like to ask you, how has your day been so far?
My day has been stressful. So like you mentioned that I'm a mom of 2. So I had to make them ready for school, drop them to school, then get ready myself and then come here. But after that, reaching here and meeting all of you people, and the generosity, it's very beautiful. It's wonderful to be over here and be your guest. Thank you.
Ma'am, how was your morning? What do you prefer to do the first thing in the morning?
So first thing I wake up, I try to be grateful to God that it's a thing that I've got it from my parents from my childhood, that whenever you wake up, the first thing you do, pray to God and just thank Him that you have given us a new day. So thank you, definitely. God, that you've given us a new day.
Definitely. Ma'am, as I mentioned earlier, you have worked in multiple domains, AI, cybersecurity, in your professional journey for 14 plus years. How do you stay such motivated for a long 14 years? Because for us as young people, we have a very short attention span. We do not tend to stay at one place. How did you did that?
So see, personally being part of IT industry and being part of TCS. So within TCS, it was my I was fortunate enough that I could switch between different projects. So I worked in multiple technologies like you mentioned, right? Because I could switch between different customers. And I have been with TCS for almost 15 years now. And that's loyalty. But I see that the younger generation today, they are switching companies, but I don't think there's a problem with that because there is an eagerness to learn. Yeah. And of course, money is important. So it's a personal choice. If you are satisfied, for me, yes, money is important, but more than money, it is my satisfaction. So if I feel satisfied somewhere, I will continue there.
Ma'am, one project which is still close to your heart or you remember?
So one project that will always be close to my heart is McKinsey. So working with McKinsey as a customer from TCS, it was something that was life-changing for me because, the people over there, they had this broad mindset, and what I got to learn there, I think I've not learned anywhere in my TCS journey. I've been in that working with McKinsey for multiple years, talking to multiple people, and the leadership insights I got from them, it's wonderful.
Ma'am, I have also read that you pursued BTech from IP only. Yeah. How was your BTech days?
So when I was coming over here and when you approached me, right, when I heard that I'll be coming back to the lanes of IP University, so IP ki galiyan, it is always a very, very beautiful experience because when you are in college, that is one of the most special phase of life you will have. Because you are enjoying your life, you're learning, you can do whatever you want to do, you can explore whatever you want to do.
Yes, definitely.
Uske baad to you just join your industry, whatever industry you want to join, and you get busy. You get married, you get responsibilities, you have to follow the orders of your boss, and it goes on, right? Responsibilities are a lot after you pass out from a school or a college. But wo IP ke din are always remembered.
Ma'am, what do you think, which is better, school life or college life?
स्कूल लाइफ इज अ बेड ऑफ रोजेस जहाँ पे ना सब लोग बस आपको प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं.
हाँ जी.
बिकॉज ऑल द टीचर्स अराउंड यू, एवरीबडी अराउंड यू, द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज लाइक कि आप बहुत अच्छे हो, आप बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट हो. बट एज सून एज यू स्टेप आउट फ्रॉम स्कूल इन टू कॉलेज, आपको रियलाइज होगा that you are not that star which you were in school. For example, I was an all-rounder in school. I was meritorious as well as in extracurricular activities. But जैसे ही I stepped out in my college, I came to my college, मैंने देखो यहाँ तो सारे ही बच्चे मेरे जैसे हैं. So I'm not special anymore, right? So it's not a bed of roses anymore. You have to create your own space. You have to again, compete with all others around you and prove yourself.
Exactly.
That you are something. So you have to create your own space within that chaos, within that so many people around you who are at same level. So how do you rise above that? That you have to fight constantly with yourself to prove yourself that I am something.
Ma'am, what challenges you faced after BTech?
So after BTech,
in a professional life, how did you manage to get a job?
See, my BTech journey, in the sense that I passed out from Maharaja Agrawal Institute of Technology, and I got a campus placement. So I got placed into Infosys, and I got 3 placements: Infosys, TCS, and IBM. I chose TCS because I knew the campus would be in Delhi. I wouldn't have to go far off. But then I had my training in Trivandrum. That was a very beautiful experience, Keralites and the beaches. That was very wonderful.
Wow.
So training was, I think, an extended college time. And after that, I came back to Delhi and continued my journey. I have made some very, very good friends from the industry. As a fresher, when you go out there, yes, challenges are there, right? As you grow up the ladder, as you try to succeed in the corporate industry, you'll face a lot of competition.
Yes.
And you always have to constantly upskill yourself. Because if you don't, then you will lag behind. You will lose your edge.
Yes, definitely. Ma'am, you have worked with a lot global clients. You have worked globally, abroad clients and Indian clients as well. What's the difference in the work culture?
Huge difference. So I have been in Australia also for 6 months from TCS for a customer called National Broadband Network of Australia. And when I was there is a huge cultural and a mindset shift, right? So I used to go office at 8 a.m. in the morning over there and come back at 4 p.m. in the evening. 4 p.m. is nothing, right? You just
definitely
you have your whole day in front of you, and you can enjoy whatever you want to do. So Fridays for them after half day was like, it is a Friday, so we'll not work anymore after Friday. So that mindset that Saturday, Sundays are of your own, and that work-life balance, though people abroad think of work-life balance as a very, very important thing, which somehow is missing in India.
If the youth really want to go somewhere, like what should they prefer, abroad or India?
See, I think there's no harm if you want to go abroad, but there's no harm if you want to stay in India. I know a lot of people who have been there, who have experienced their lives abroad, and then they've come back to India, because yes, there is a difference in the lifestyle, but in India, you have your roots, you have your family, you have your traditions, your festivals, and जो मेरे फ्रेंड्स बाहर होकर वापस इंडिया आए हैं, they've come back because they were missing that, celebration of everything that is you. यहाँ पर आप किसी को भी कह सकते हो, it is mine. वहाँ पे आप ये नहीं बोल सकते हो कि ये मेरा है. So भारत मेरा है, right?
Definitely. Ma'am, since most of our listeners are young professionals, college students, what advice would you like to give them apart from academics?
See, apart from academics, I would say academics तो हम लोग करेंगे ही. That is obviously we have to do because we have to pass our exams.
Yes.
We have to get the placements. But most important, in today's scenario when AI is there, I think learning life skills is more important than academics. Go out, explore as much as you can. Take part in as much, get that exposure. आप फेस्ट में पार्टिसिपेट करो, आप ऑर्गेनाइज करो डिफरेंट चीज़ें, बी पार्ट ऑफ मल्टीपल सोसाइटीज़ एंड जस्ट गो आउट एंड एक्सप्लोर व्हाट इज़ एक्चुअली योर पर्पस, बिकॉज अनलेस यू एक्सप्लोर द वेरियस एवेन्यूज, बिकॉज होता क्या है 12th के बाद वी जस्ट चूज एनी स्ट्रीम, राइट?
Yes.
And even in college, we are not sure what we are doing is something we are meant to do, we want to do, या हम we are just part of a rat race. हम किसी और को देख के but aspire करे जा रहे हैं. So you have to explore a lot of things when you are in college. Because जब आप explore करोगे, you'll get to know कि this is something where my interest lies and इसको मैं आगे pursue करना चाहती हूँ, right? So explore as much as you can, get that exposure, build your life skills. That is most important because AI के world में we don't know the future ahead of the jobs, right?
Exactly.
अभी जो jobs हैं 20 years down the line, वो jobs होंगी या नहीं होंगी? In fact, 5 years down the line,
Yes.
वो jobs होंगी या नहीं होंगी? We don't know.
Ma'am, now I would like to have one rapid fire with you. You have to answer with the first thing that comes to your mind.
Sure.
One word that describes you best.
One word that describes me best. I think it will be. I am very vocal. I will say what is coming. I will not keep anything in myself, right? I am very vocal. I will say it out loud. If I think something is not good, I'll say it out loud.
Ma'am, your go-to motivation mantra.
My go-to motivation mantra? Yes, I can do it.
You also host your own podcast. So one podcast guest you would love to host.
My mom. So, because in India, there are a lot, I mean, everywhere there are homemakers, right?
Yes.
And generally we feel that, homemakers are not doing anything, but that's not the case. After becoming a mother myself, I realized that homemakers, the kind of work they put in, what my mother gave me, whenever I feel like quitting, my mom is the one who says, nahi, keep on pushing, you have to do it. You cannot just quit.
Exactly.
So yeah, I would love to host my mom.
The book that has influenced you the most.
The book that has influenced me the most, see, my podcast, Renaissance with Swati, I invite a lot of people from different genres of life. And to me, it is like reading several books. Because reading one book is something, but when you talk to real conversations, real people, the kind of insights they give you, it's like reading 10 books at the same time. So all the guests I have interviewed, it's like I've read so many multiple books, got so many perspectives, and that are the most wonderful books I've read.
Ma'am, if you were not a program manager, what would you be doing?
I would say two things. Either I would do something in the space of, bridging the gap between education and the industry. Because even I see today the people passing out from the colleges, they don't know what is in store for them. What is it actually like to be in the industry, being out there? So to bridge that gap, either that thing, or I would love to focus on mental health. Because, mental health is something that is still considered taboo in India. Yes. But we all suffer from that. Yes. We all have our own anxieties, our own nervousness, our own vulnerabilities, and people try to hide it. But I don't believe in hiding it. I believe that if you're vulnerable, show it. What is the harm?
The more you talk, the more you feel less scared of it.
Exactly.
Ma'am, outside your corporate role, you mentioned you're also a host of Renaissance with Swati. That's amazing. What inspired you to start your own podcast?
So see, I always wanted to do, so when I was in school, I was always into all these oratory competitions or speeches, news reading competitions, etc. I was in 5th class, I believe, and I was in this news reading competition where my headmistress came to me after the competition and told me that, Swati, growing up, I think you should become a journalist or a news reader. And that didn't click me at that time, but always I was very vocal. I used to talk to people, and somewhere in the IT industry I was feeling lost that I'm just working for the sake of it, but what am I doing for myself? I'm not doing anything for myself, for my personal satisfaction.
Yes.
So yes, I want to do something which helps me reinvent myself. That is what the word Renaissance comes into picture. Rebuilding myself, reinventing myself, and it started with doing something for myself. First, Renaissance with my own soul. That is how it started. I started writing blogs, and then it became into a podcast where I thought that why not share the stories of everyone out there who are doing something to give satisfaction, and that can inspire a lot of people.
Ma'am, one guest encounter you had, which you still remember, which is still in your mind?
One guest encounter. So I have talked to multiple people, but the most the people who stay in my mind are, so every Republic Day or Independence Day, I try to talk to army men.
Yes.
Or army women.
Yes.
So that is something that stays in my mind, because listening to their journeys, it's another level, right? Because they are out there and the lives they are living, we cannot even imagine.
Ma'am, recently saw your podcast with a army woman, and the podcast was amazing. The life they had, waking up so early and everything.
I mean, the training is rigorous, right? But always be there in the sense that being there out there, and everyone is fearful of death. But being out there, and that next day anything can happen, but still you're there. Your families are there. My family is behind, but I still have to do it for my country. That is another level, and we cannot even imagine it.
Ma'am, what challenges you faced when you started the podcast?
There are a lot of challenges, So when we, as a beginner, start a podcast, there are a lot of established podcasters. So if I reach out to people, would you like to be a guest on my podcast? Sometimes people are very generous and they would say yes. But sometimes they'll just say, how many followers do you have? And I say, I don't have much followers, because more than followers, it's about, having conversations, and I'll grow organically. I'm sure about that. So it's just some people, they will just ignore you because you don't have a lot of followers. So that is the biggest challenge we face. But I'm also learning as I do it, right? So it's been almost more than a year now. And if you see my first episode, my first video to now, I've changed a lot. I've groomed a lot. So that is what shows, and that is what is my aspiration, to grow with every episode.
Ma'am, that's exactly what podcast is meant for: real stories and real inspirations, right, more than followers.
Exactly. More than followers, it's about what you're bringing on the table and how it is inspiring others.
Ma'am, any episode that has deeply impacted you?
Episode that has deeply impacted me, I would say, every episode impacts me in general, but episode that deeply impacts me is something I had talk with, again, like I said, leadership consultant. So as you grow up in the ladder in the IT industry or any other industry, you move into management or leadership roles as well. And we all see that, as you grow up the ladder, sometimes we meet leaders who the bandwidth does not match. Our bandwidth and their bandwidth are different.
Yes.
We don't find good leaders. That is main reason why people quit sometimes. So the leadership qualities you get when you talk to such people, right? Leadership consultants. So you get to know that, for example, layoffs are happening right now as well. And people are scared. But then those who are actually in that role, who have to say that, you go off, you have to, you are being laid off tomorrow. So I asked a person that, you laid off someone, how did that feel? And she was like, see, it was part of my job, I had to do it. And I did it very humbly. I just went into a one-to-one conversation with that person. I talked about their aspirations, and I said sorry, genuinely sorry, that it is because of the market condition, which is not in my hand, and I had to do it. So yeah, those kind of perspectives on leadership when you talk with senior leaders who have been there, done that. Also, as we grow up, this midlife crisis comes in, right?
Yes.
Where you have to handle and juggle with multiple things, your job, your family, your kids. At that point of time, it seriously feels like, I just want to quit, I cannot do it anymore. But at that point of time, when you listen to these stories, right? How did those who have been there and passed through that phase just maintain their momentum and just push through? You get a lot from that.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask you, what's happiness for you?
What's happiness for me is to be happy when I go to bed every night. No regrets, and I'm happy, I'm peaceful, and I am not so what for me, the mantra has always been that if I feel that something is not suiting me, something is not meant for me, I will try to be there for a few months or a few years, I would say, and then I'll try to move away from that. I will not be in that toxic area. So going to bed happily without any regrets is the biggest thing for me.
Ma'am, you have worked for long 14 years. Did you ever felt that you are in a male-dominated society, male-dominated culture?
See, sometimes it does feel like that, because like I mentioned, when you have, as a woman, when you're getting married, you have additional responsibilities coming up to you. When you become a mother, the additional responsibilities coming onto you. At that point of time, that is the same time when you are, trying to climb that ladder. So the male counterparts, they're still climbing the ladder, and sometimes you are just there because of the responsibilities. You cannot go out somewhere, and you have to take the leaves, importantly maternity leaves or any kind of leaves. And at that point of time, you feel that you have lost 3-4 years in my life. So it happened to me as well, and it felt sad. that, I lost something because I had to go on the leaves, I have to fulfill my responsibilities. But today when I think back, I feel that it was okay. Most important to me is juggling that balance. So I will still rise the ladder, maybe a 2-3 years slowly, but then I will do it. I can do it.
Any message you would like to give to your younger self?
A message that I would like to give my younger self. So, initially I used to feel that I've not done enough, that my younger self would not be happy with, who I am today, maybe because, like I said, I was a topper in school, but I could not crack the IITs. I did from my BTech from Maharaja Agrawal Institute of Technology, IP University. So, I was always feeling that, I could not get into IITs, or I could not land jobs into the Microsofts or Amazons or Google. But then I realized that it's okay. Wherever you are, you have to be happy. That is what is most
That's
important.
what matters.
Yeah. So that is what I go to my younger self and I close my eyes and I just hug my younger self that, you did good. You're good.
Ma'am, you're a mom of 2 toddlers. What's more difficult, being a senior program manager or a mom?
I would say that juggling is the most difficult. So you are happily doing your work, you're happily managing. It's all very stressful, right? So how to juggle and maintain that balance, that you don't have that guilt inside you at the end of the day that I didn't do enough for my kids or I didn't do enough for my office. So that is what juggling and still maintaining your sanity. That is what is most important. So yeah.
How was your childhood like?
My childhood, when I just started going to school, I was a very, very shy kid. People don't believe me when I say that. But I was very shy. I had my best friend, and any doubt I used to have, I just used to tell her, Garima, can you please go and ask that question to ma'am? I could not even, go up to the teacher and ask the question. But suddenly it changed, I got a few classmates, a few friends who were very outspoken, who was always there on the stage. And it changed suddenly into me that, why am I fearing anything? And I then started going out. I was always there on the stage. I was always doing good academically, and it changed me. So that was how my childhood was like. And my parents were very, very supportive. They made sure that I learned everything, apart from academics as well. I learned Kathak, then I learned a lot of things beyond my regular academics. So that is what my privilege was.
Any hobby you still pursue?
So I used to read a lot of books earlier, but due to the time constraints, I'm not able to do now. But recently, I have joined hula hoop with my 2 little daughters.
That's wonderful.
Because I always loved dancing, and I was missing dancing. So I thought I also want to let them, go to these classes, and why not join myself? So I started learning hula hoop.
That's wonderful, ma'am. And you also judge debate competitions. I have taken part in debate competitions. Any tips you would like to give someone who is currently taking part in a debate?
So you just have to do a pre-study of all the various current topics that is going on, and at that time be confident, because the way you are speaking, you have that in you. That is why you are out there in that debate competition, because you have good communication skills. Otherwise you would not have been there on the stage. But on that stage, at that point of time, what you have to show is the confidence. And these days you must have heard about storytelling. That is very important, how you frame it. You have a whole picture in your mind what you have to speak, but then how you put it out in a story, that is most important. And winning is not everything. Participating is a huge thing, because winner will always be one, right?
Yes.
But not everybody can go out there and speak. So I say to people, when I do podcasting and I don't get good views or a lot of followers, and when I talk to people, I just say that, even if I'm getting 50 views or 100 views, if I am standing on a stage with 50 people or 100 people sitting in front of me, it is a huge thing for me, right? That I'm talking in front of 100 people. So if you're there on that stage in front of 50 people or 100 people, you've already won, right? You've given your best, and giving your best is important. Winning, you'll get it sometime, you'll not get it sometime, but that's okay.
Ma'am, any tips for the first timers?
First timers in
debates or on speaking on any stage?
First timer, see, butterflies will always be there. You will always be nervous. That nervousness will go away only when you're doing it continuously. But even when you do it continuously, sometimes we still feel those butterflies inside us before doing that. And sometimes that is a good thing, because you know that butterflies, you learn to calm them down, and then you go out there and you speak, and as you speak they go away automatically. And the more you speak, they will go out automatically. So for the first timers, don't be afraid of the butterflies flying inside you. Don't be afraid to participate. Don't be afraid of failures, because what I have seen is, in my journey of life, from what I've learned from my failures, I've had a lot of failures in my life. So what I've had a lot of failures, what that taught me, no success can teach you that, because you become a completely different person after a failure. You introspect, you retrospect, and you come, you know, a phoenix rises from the ashes, right? So from a failure, when you rise again, that is something that no other teaching can give you, no learning can give you. That is a that is a learning that life has given you, a test where the life is testing you and you are emerging out as a successful person.
Ma'am, do you feel that public speaking or soft skills is a necessary skill in today's time?
Yes, definitely. Because you know, हम बच्चों को कभी कभी हमारे टाइम पे बोला जाता था कि चुप हो जाओ, बोलो मत, या फिर रो मत, आप चुप बैठे रहो, क्लास में चुप बैठे रहो. बट जब तक आप बोलोगे नहीं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन द कॉर्पोरेट आई सी, अगर आप नहीं बोलोगे तो आपके मैनेजर को कैसे पता लगेगा कि यू आर एस्पायरिंग टू बी इन दिस रोल, यू एस्पायर टू बी अ मैनेजर, या मुझे प्रमोशन चाहिए. तो अनलेस यू आस्क फॉर इट इन टुडेज वर्ल्ड जो कि हाईली कॉम्पिटिटिव है, अनलेस यू आस्क फॉर व्हाट यू वांट, अनलेस यू आर वोकल इनफ टू आस्क फॉर इट, nobody will give you that. तो उसके लिए एक प्रॉपर कम्युनिकेशन स्किल होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. एंड यू कैन ग्रूम दैट, राइट? नोबडी इज बॉर्न विद गुड कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स.
Yes.
तो यू कैन ग्रूम दैट, एंड वंस यू हैव दैट, यू नो, इट बिल्ड्स एन ऑरा अराउंड यू. एक वो करिश्मा होता है आपका. जब आपके पास वो गुड कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स आ जाती है ना, यू करिश्मेटिक ऑन योर ओन, एंड आपका करिश्मा देख के लोग आपसे अट्रैक्ट होंगे. यू ऑलवेज अट्रैक्ट, यू नो, पीपल हु कैन अट्रैक्ट यू, हु आर अट्रैक्टेड टू योर वाइब. सो मेरे साथ भी ऐसा ही होता है. मैं किसी से बात कर रही हूँ, आई एम टॉकिंग टू यू, राइट, एंड योर ऑरा इज वेरी पॉजिटिव टू मी. सो आई एम टॉकिंग टू यू, आई एम नॉट नर्वस, बिकॉज एक पॉजिटिविटी है अराउंड यू. सो सिमिलरली जब आप किसी से बात करते हो, अगर आपका ऑरा पॉजिटिव है, तो जो आपसे बात कर रहे हैं वो भी बात करके हैप्पी होगा. सो वेदर इट इज़ लाइफ, वेदर इट इज़ एनी इंडस्ट्री यू आर वर्किंग इन, so you attract people by your personality.
Definitely, ma'am. Ma'am, any turning point in your life?
Turning point in my life was, there was, you know, when I did not get what I wanted to do, I landed up in IT. I did not always want to join an IT industry. I was a biotechnology student. I wanted to become a scientist. But, you know, in India, there was not a lot much of scope of biotechnology back then. So I joined IT because my mom always said that, you know, it is very important to earn. So by the end of the day, you should have a job, you should be earning, and you have to be independent. You don't have to rely on anyone else. So I need to get a job. So I joined IT, I did my engineering, and I became an engineer. But then I faced a lot of setbacks in my personal as well as professional life, and that was a turning point. So there was a very, you know, they say that night is darkest before the dawn.
Yes.
So जब सबसे ज़्यादा रोशनी होती है सबसे ज़्यादा अंधेरे के बाद. सो दैट इज़ व्हाट, राइट? सो जब सबसे ज़्यादा डार्केस्ट फेज था मेरी लाइफ का, आई फेल्ट लाइक, यू नो, सब कुछ अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है, मैं आई एम गुड फॉर नथिंग, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकती ज़िंदगी में. एंड सून आफ्टर दैट एवरीथिंग चेंज्ड. So I started believing in myself. So that is what is most important. अपने आप पे belief रखना. And that is what I right now tell to everyone around me, even to my little kids, that रात को सोते वक्त ना we remind ourselves. तो हम लोग ऐसे बोलते हैं, I am confident, I am bold, I am strong, I am amazing, and I am enough. वो enough होना ना, and being grateful for whatever you have, or considering that I am enough, I am not less than anyone, whatever I am enough, that gives you power. तो अब रोज़ रात को we do this practice that we follow positive affirmations, and that gives that, and I've seen that change in myself because of that affirmations.
Ma'am, we all have a certain mindset shift at an age. When did you have it and how it impacted your life?
See, mindset shift it came to me. Earlier, I used to always compete with others and log kya kahenge.
Yes.
I was a people pleaser, always. That, I have to be the best in front of everyone and everyone should like me. I used to fear rejections. I used to fear failures. But when I had all these failures in my life, I realized कि लोग क्या कहेंगे doesn't matter. आप अपने आप को कैसे देखते हो? That matters the most. Your family and you, that matters the most. So if you're good in terms of in terms of your eyes, अगर आप कहते हो कि मैं अच्छी हूँ and if I accept myself as I am today, और मैं हर रोज़ बस थोड़ी सी कोशिश करती हूँ to be better from what I was yesterday. So I'm not competing with the world. I forget about लोग क्या कहेंगे. But I am better from what I was yesterday. That is most important.
That's a wonderful thought, ma'am. That's a wonderful thought. Definitely, we need to show ourselves in front of the mirror rather than
exactly.
to the people.
Stop people pleasing. Stop
Yes.
people pleasing.
Jitni jaldi we do this, utna is better.
Exactly.
Ma'am, now I have a fun segment where I'll give you a word and you have to name it with a hashtag. Childhood.
Hashtag all rounder.
Future.
Hashtag happy.
Hashtag now.
Satisfied.
Kids.
Life. Hashtag life.
College.
Nostalgia.
Podcast.
Satisfaction to my soul.
Great, ma'am. Ma'am, before we wrap up, I would love to ask you if you could give one message to our viewers, our students who are currently figuring life, stressed out.
So students right now, obviously they are stressed because they don't know what to do next. There's always this question, what to do next, and am I taking the right decision? So I would say at that point of time, just do it. First of all, explore, do a pre-study and explore the various avenues in front of you, and then just do it. Just go with the flow. When you're not able to make a decision at that point, whatever comes to you, just go with the flow, and that point of time you will realize, going with the flow, whether it is good for me or not. But don't stop don't just stop trying. Just go with the flow, और जो भी मिलता है वो करो. करके ही आपको पता लगेगा कि ये मेरे लिए है या नहीं है, और अगर नहीं है तो कोई बात नहीं, you can explore something else.
Definitely, ma'am. How to deal with distractions?
Distractions will always be there in your life. Meditation is most important. So when you are feeling distracted, first of all think of why I started this or pursued this in the first place. What was the motto behind that? That is the first thing. And second thing, to keep your sanity, just meditate. Just close your eyes and then just don't think of anything. Even if thoughts are coming, just close your eyes, breathe in, breathe out, and then you will get that peace. And if you practice meditation daily, I assure you, you will not face that distraction. You will not be worried about what is going on externally because you'll be so peaceful inside.
Ma'am, are you also stressed sometimes in life? How do you deal with it?
Stress, I would say, is a constant part of my life right now. See, I juggle with my family life, that is my kids, my family, my office, and obviously IT jobs are demanding, right? And doing a podcast for my own, and then taking my kids to extracurricular and all those things. So stress is always there because you have to juggle. Your day is non-stoppable. So every minute or every second of the day you have to do something. So by the end of the day, when I go to bed, it's like I'm so tired that I just go to bed. I don't know when I feel asleep. So yeah, I mean, just be out there and just juggle between the work and just continue doing it. Stress will always be there, but this is something, talk to people, talk to your friends, because when you talk to your friends, stress releases out,
Yes.
So yeah, talk to your friends, walk. Going into the nature is very, very, very important. And pursuing a hobby. At least have one hobby, one passion. So whenever you are stressed, you do that and you'll feel relief. Some people do this. Some people follow art, some people follow music, dancing, anything you like. Have one hobby and do that whenever you feel stressed.
Ma'am, how to manage hobby with profession?
So like I started my podcast, right? I have a profession, but I started as a passion, my podcasting, to satisfy my soul. And I also like to talk to my friends. So it is difficult, but then you have your weekends, right? On your weekends, reserve it specifically for your family and for yourself. Don't give your weekends away to anyone else.
Definitely, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to ask one last thing. Did you ever imagine the life you're living now back in your childhood?
Never, never. I did not imagine. I mean, as a child, I never knew that, I'll be hosting a podcast, I will be talking to random people, random big people on my show, or I would be into management. I never knew that. I never foresee, हमारे टाइम पे इतने सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ के बारे में पता नहीं होता था कि आपको आगे जाके क्या करना है. जब हम स्कूल में थे, कॉलेज में थे, देयर वाज नो कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ करियर काउंसलिंग एज सच.
Yes.
तो हमें नहीं पता था हम आगे जाके क्या करेंगे. बट लीडिंग टीम्स, लीडिंग पीपल एंड हैविंग दैट. सो फॉर मी लीडिंग टीम्स और मैनेजिंग पीपल इज नॉट कि मैं बॉस हूँ, मैं ऑर्डर चलाऊंगी. इट इज़ लाइक यू हैव टू हैव दैट म्यूचुअल रिस्पेक्ट एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड हैव पीपल रिस्पेक्ट यू, अर्न देयर रिस्पेक्ट. So that is what leadership is to me. So leadership करना और podcast को host करना, लोगों से बात करना, and it's very beautiful when I see, after becoming a mom, I realize that, making your child grow up in front of your eyes, seeing their activities, there are a lot you can learn from them. That innocence, that eager to try out anything without the risk of falling. जब बच्चा चलना सीखता है, उसको नहीं पता मैं गिर जाऊंगी, तो उसको देख के that, आपको बस चलना है. आप गिरोगे, but आप फिर उठोगे, फिर चलोगे.
Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much for such an enriching conversation and a career insight on your podcast journey. I'm sure our viewers will take away a lot from today's podcast. To everyone tuning in, thank you for being a part of Beyond Classroom. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss an episode. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and the best lessons come from Beyond Classroom. This is Vanshika signing off. Thank you.